So the real challenge in life, ironically, is to be yourself. Because no one tells you to be yourself, but everyone tells you to be like someone else, act like someone else, do what someone else is doing. And you are never evaluated for your unique traits, your talents and abilities that could actually lead you to a profession or a life that is in alignment with this trait of yours. And instead, you are constantly forced, twisted, and shoved into becoming a person that you don't even recognize as yourself. And this is why it is important for us to take it upon ourselves to really look into our inner world and see the kind of person we have become as a result of this relentless indoctrination. We should be able to look into every facet of our lives and check if it is in alignment with our innermost desire for creativity and fulfillment. Are we merely acting out a script that was handed to us long ago? Are we slaving away for a check? Are we trying and killing ourselves, trying to fit into the many, many, many different standards of society and the outside world? And within that very process, we burn ourselves out by taking too many responsibilities and obligations that we could easily avoid. Because the thing that you have to know is that there are these responsibilities and obligations that should be your priority or is urgent, but there are also these responsibilities and obligations that is not even for you to take. And for me, I've had to ask this question many times on many different occasions, and the answer is shocking. Because what I found is that most of the things that I was doing day in, day out, most of the things I didn't even care for. But nonetheless, I was actively engaging because that's what everyone else does. I didn't know that I could have a drastically, different take on things and act upon them as long as I'm not imposing anything on anyone. And when I finally realized that, things start to change for the better. And now it's time for you. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how far into the metrics you are, there is still hope for you because your authentic self is still here. It didn't go away. It's just patiently waiting behind all the masks and the drama, patiently waiting to make you your unique and original self once again. And in this video, we are going to talk about how we can be, how we can finally become ourselves, be unapologetically unique and authentic. But before we get to the rest of the video, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I'm just going to ask you to subscribe to this channel because here on this channel, I talk about how you can find your passion and go after it at any age, how you can find balance even at the most difficult times in your life, and how you can be happy with the things and the people you already have surrounding you. So if you're interested, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Also, make sure to check out the description box. I have links to my website, my new book, my social media accounts, each and every one of them tailored to help you become your best self. So do check it out and give this video a big thumbs up to spread the message. Now, let's get to today's topic. So point number one is to drown out the outside noise. So you can't expect to embrace authenticity while you are being bombarded by thousands of opinions, suggestions coming to you from every angle. That is a no-no. You have to find a way to either stop listening to people or stop caring about what they think or say, all their opinions and takes on things that they have all the time. Because if you are not strong enough to resist already established ways of life and their guardians, which are the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis, there is a great chance that you might be influenced back into being one of many and not one of one, And that's not what we're doing here in this video. We are looking for ways to take you back to your authentic self, because in your true nature you are one of one and not one of many like people would have you believe. And the only way to really find out that you could actually thrive with your authentic self without wearing all these masks, without trying to change your opinions or your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, changing them every moment like a chameleon just because you want to fit into the narrative or this already established belief or way of life, is for you to realize that people have this tendency to talk about things they know nothing about. They have a tendency to really share with you things that they're not an expert on, and even the experts are just creating problems in your life, because they will be talking about their knowledge as far as their experiments and their experiences allow them. And that should not be enough for you. You have to be able to look into whatever information is coming to you from anywhere, and you have to take it with a grain of salt, because you can see people, you can observe that they have so many different ideas that they most of the time contradict their own beliefs, their own lifestyle. And this is why you have to be careful when you are around people and you're just soaking up all the information, all the suggestions, all the ideas that people have. You have to be able to filter this out if you are going to finally realize that you don't need anybody's opinions or suggestions or directions. What you need to do instead is to be brave enough to carve your own path. But it will be increasingly difficult for you to do that if you are always listening to people and not actually filtering out and not actually analyzing it for what it really is. And honestly, you don't want to replicate these people's lives. It's obvious. You look at their lives, and if you're able to look at it in its entirety, you definitely want to do something different with your life. And unfortunately, even for this kind of people, we have a tendency to listen to them and be influenced by what they are, what they have the audacity to say to us. So it doesn't matter if this is a person that you're putting on a pedestal. It doesn't matter if this is an expert. It doesn't matter if this is a person that you feel like they have your best interest at heart. Everything you have to take with a grain of salt. And if you feel like you are easily influenced, you are the kind of person who haven't developed that strong mindset that could actually listen to whatever is being said and still have your own resolve, your own belief system intact, your own values intact, then I suggest that you don't spend a lot of time, going back and forth with all these unnecessary discussions that are later going to influence your decisions or thoughts or whatever it is, because this will eventually influence how you live your life. So point number 2 is self-acceptance. So a never seen before radical self-acceptance is needed in order for you to become authentic. You have to be able to accept and not reject every stage of your existence, because within that is your true self, your fake self, your rejected self. And all of these things, all of them are either a demonstration of who you are or a cry for help, because you are being forced to be someone you're not. And you reacted, in a destructive way, both inwardly and outwardly. And this is why self-compassion is important. Because the more you reject yourself, the more you are practicing self-hate, all this negative inner dialogue all the time, it's just going to make you feel like that you're not good enough, and you are going to strive to be like someone else. And this is one way of becoming inauthentic. It's by trying to mimic or replicate someone else's life. And you want to avoid this at all costs. You want to be able to accept yourself to the point that it finally hits you. You realize that whatever it is that you have experienced in your life, every single stage in your existence is something that happened for a reason, and that it is your responsibility to, instead of looking to the outside world for solutions, answers, directions, and going crazy by trying to find the answers to your life from the outside, you realize that the only missing part, the only missing thing within that puzzle was your own acceptance to the things that have happened to you and to the things that you did, all your experiences in life, because they are there waiting for you to translate them, to transmute them into something positive. Because then you will realize that you do not need to be like someone else. You don't need to look like someone else, to replicate their life, trying to kill yourself in so many ways, in so many areas of your life, trying to do things that are not even for you. And once you accept yourself like that, then it becomes easier for you to be authentic. You are not ashamed of yourself. You are not trying to hide. You are not trying to just portray this image that is the complete opposite of your truth, of who you are, and then you become free. It's actually going to help you become free of the bondage of trying to portray an image that's not even part of your experience. And if you want to learn how to accept yourself unconditionally, I'll have a link to a video up here or up here that teaches you how to do exactly that. I'll also leave the link down below in the description box, so check it out. Point number 3 is the joy factor, and not the money factor or the fame factor. You have to be able to look for the bliss in life that is untethered to any monetary gains or superficial goals that have the potential to bring out the inauthentic in you. Because one of the ways you are going to become inauthentic is through chasing superficial goals that are going to make you do crazy stuff. You do crazy things, and they are guaranteed to rob you of your joy and your values. Because eventually you are going to act like a person who doesn't have those values, and you will develop the habits that rob you of your joy that only your authentic self could give you. Because at the end of the day, if you had to change so many things about yourself in order to achieve something, you don't even recognize yourself anymore because of those changes. It doesn't matter whether this is physical, mental, spiritual. You don't even recognize yourself. There will be no joy and fulfillment that you're going to get out of these activities. It will actually be a problem for you. You will feel like you'll have this imposter syndrome. You will feel like you are truly undeserving or unworthy because you didn't achieve these things on your own merit or using your own God-given talents and gifts and abilities. And whether you had to do unsavory things in order to achieve these things, or you overworked yourself to death and now you've lost all meaning and there is really no joy because of these things, and I think there is no point in this. Because A, you have lost yourself in the process. You don't even recognize yourself. And B, there is actually no happiness or fulfillment because of these things. In fact, they have now become a problem to you. And this is one of the things that you experience as a result of being inauthentic, because you will know inside. The inner dialogue will always be, you didn't achieve this because you were good enough, or the world accepted you for you. And you always had to change yourself. You always had to try and fit with all the standards, with all the people, with all the opinions that were constantly changing, and you lost yourself in that noise. And you want to avoid this and start taking a different path of really embracing your authentic self. It doesn't really matter if there are some worldly gains or achievements that you can show for, because at the end of the day, the experience within you, that will topple whatever experience that is out there. Everything that you experience, all the joy, all the happiness and fulfillment will eventually come from your inner world, not from the things that are out there. So thinking about this beforehand is going to help you to really understand that you have to embrace your authentic self no matter what. So in order for you to be truly joyous and fulfilled in life, one of the ways to do that would be to keep your values intact and to be able to withstand whatever trends, whatever new ways of doing things. If there are things that are going to erode your value system, they are going to make you do things you wouldn't do otherwise. If they have this, you have this idea that you have to overwork yourself because you simply think that this is the way to happiness and success and joy, you have to know better, and you have to know better beforehand. And this will help you, go after whatever endeavors, dreams, or goals you have in life from a strong foundation that will not allow for the erosion of your values simply to achieve something superficial. You will be strong enough in searching for true joy and bliss and fulfillment instead of going after all the things that the outside world is portraying to you as the be-all, end-all achievements that you need to have. And now you know better. Point number 4 is to adopt a tailor-made mindset. So don't force yourself to be like anyone else. Never force yourself to be like anyone else. That is literally the definition of being inauthentic. You can try and learn and adopt and apply good practices, but don't make it so you can mimic others. And instead, use that to build a tailor-made mindset that is not only going to help you achieve the things you want in life, but one whose main purpose is to protect your uniqueness against all the farce that's out there. You want to be able to have a mindset that is able to reject anything that is threatening your own self-worth. It doesn't matter if they are right or not. Whatever anybody is telling you, whatever the outside situations and circumstances are reflecting back to you, don't allow that to doubt yourself and constantly try to change course and trying to change things in your life. It doesn't mean that you can't be flexible. Of course, you have to be flexible, but you have to do it consciously. You can't allow the outside world to just come up with all these new things, all these new trends that are going to make you doubtful of yourself, doubtful of your abilities, and try to keep up with the outside world, creating havoc within you. You want to be able to have a tailor-made mindset that is unshakable by whatever's happening out there. It doesn't matter if you have failed, if you have mistakes in your life, if you haven't been able to achieve anything in your life. The kind of mindset that you're going to develop is going to override whatever negativity is coming from the outside world, even for the things that you believe you deserve. You deserve to be shamed. You deserve all these negative things that are happening in your life. Now, by being able to embrace yourself and developing a strong mindset, not only are you going to be able to overcome any perceived problems in your life, whatever it is that you're going to do is going to be something new, something never done before, because you're not trying to replicate anything. And you accept yourself and your life experiences, and you trust the process that is going to bring something unique, because you trust yourself and trust the process to give you the results that you want without trying to make yourself something you're not. And this is how to become one of one. You now realize that you have that within you. It's only being threatened by the outside world, because there are so many things that the outside world has at its disposal. And one of the things is fear of not being accepted, not fitting in. And once you overcome all these fake and false fears that you have within you, you now have the power to be whatever you want to be and become whoever you want to become.